his litmus test. 2020 was stolen, and is Steve Daines going to allow him to pick candidates in states like Montana, Ohio, and West Virginia that will abide by that litmus test? It's going to be fascinating as we go forward to see how many of these senators come out with him.
How do you interpret that move, Rick? Is this the establishment coalescing around Donald Trump, or is that how you'd frame it if you were him?
No, not really. I mean, I don't think Daines is really that representative of the establishment. I think it's more home state politics, right? I mean, his state's going to be overwhelmingly for Trump. I mean, that's sort of a deep Trump-bred state. And I think that what you really want to hear is, you know, what the McConnell super PAC, which has much more money than the NRSC does, does in these primaries that Jeannie mentioned, because they're not going to sit him out, right? The lesson they learned in the last cycle, and the reason he's a minority leader, is Mitch McConnell didn't get actively enough in the primaries. He regrets it, and he's not going to let that opportunity pass. He's not going to let Donald Trump pick the candidates who are going to serve in the Senate and potentially lose another opportunity to regain power.
Just to remind our listeners, we're standing by for the Q&A to begin as this bilateral news conference gets underway in the Rose Garden at the White House. Joe Biden at the podium, the president of South Korea at the other. And once they wrap up their formal opening remarks and get through the formalities, we'll dive into that for you and bring it to you live here on Bloomberg Radio, as you would expect. I'm Joe Matthew in Washington with our panel, Rick Davis and Jeannie Shanzana. Rick, you've made a lot of political ads or directed them over the years here. What's the process when you sit down and figure who's the voiceover going to be? You know, the difference between the Joe Biden ad that we just heard.
As the sun rises, we raise the flag.
And the Trump ad that we just
2 days after the endorsement, DeSantis took a commanding lead.
You have to figure out music. You have to kind of establish the tone. What is the process? How does that meeting go?
Well, when you have time, first of all, you're directed by the survey research, right? You're looking at what are the issues that pop. Are there any that have over 60% of the people saying, yeah, I'd change my vote, you know, if I knew that about the guy? And those are your ads that you basically create the script. And that comes out of who are you trying to influence.